Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a fascinating piece of history, and I think you'll be amazed by what we're about to uncover. Imagine holding in your hands a single coin that could be worth millions. It's not a typo. We're talking about a 1999 1-cent coin that's worth an astonishing $37 million today. Yes, you heard that right, $37 million. Stick around, because this is one of those rare, mind-blowing stories in the world of collectibles and numismatics that's bound to make you see pennies in an entirely new light. If you're a fan of unique historical artifacts or simply intrigued by rare treasures, you're in for a real treat. Before we dive into the specifics of this remarkable coin, let's take a moment to think about coins in general. Most of us use them daily, sometimes without a second thought. Pennies, dimes, nickels, they're just part of the usual transaction process. But not all coins are created equal, and some coins have such unique characteristics that they can change the financial landscape. The 1999 1-cent coin is one such coin. It's not your typical, run-of-the-mill penny that you'll find in your pocket or tossed into a jar at the end of the day. You might be wondering how a simple penny, something so commonplace, could possibly be worth so much. Well, the answer lies in a combination of factors: rarity, a mistake during its minting, and the demand among collectors. But before we get into the details of how this specific penny became so valuable, let's take a look at the broader context of coin collecting. The world of numismatics is vast, full of rare coins with stories that go back centuries, each with its own tale of why it's considered so special. Some of these stories involve coins that were lost in shipwrecks, found in ancient ruins, or were part of royal treasuries. Others have been accidentally misstruck, leading to valuable anomalies that can fetch a hefty price in the right market point. One of the most fascinating things about coin collecting is that the value of a coin is not just based on its age or historical significance. It also depends on factors like its rarity, condition, and any unique features that make it stand out from the rest. For example, a coin could be made from a rare metal, or it could have an era that makes it one of a kind. The 1999 1-cent coin we're talking about is an example of the latter. It was produced in the United States during a routine year for the mint, but due to a series of unfortunate yet fortunate events, this particular penny became a highly sought-after collector's item. Now, let's take a step back and think about what happened to make this penny so valuable. It all started with a minting error. In 1999, the U.S. Mint accidentally produced a very small number of pennies that were mistakenly struck with the wrong materials. While most pennies are made from a copper-plated zinc core, these particular coins were accidentally made with a much rarer and more valuable composition. Some reports suggest that the mint used an incorrect type of copper for the coins, which was highly unusual and completely unintentional. Because of this, only a handful of these 1999 pennies exist today, and that's what has made them incredibly rare. Now, imagine being one of the lucky few to find one of these rare coins. In the world of coin collecting, that would be like striking gold. The rarity of the coin alone is enough to make it valuable, but the mistake during its production adds another layer of intrigue. Collectors and enthusiasts are always on the lookout for coins with errors, as these can fetch a much higher price than their counterparts. In this case, the 1999 1-cent coin is not just rare, it's a perfect example of how a small mistake can turn something mundane into a goldmine. As word spread about the existence of these rare pennies, the demand for them skyrocketed. People began to realize that they could potentially hold onto a coin worth millions of dollars, and that's when the bidding wars started. Collectors from all over the world began to fight for the chance to own one of these rare 1999 pennies. Some were willing to pay astronomical amounts of money to get their hands on one, and as a result, the value of these coins soared to unimaginable heights. The $37 million price tag that this particular penny eventually reached is the result of years of interest, rare coin auctions, and an ever-growing desire for unique collectibles. You might be thinking, how did they know this penny was worth so much? Well, just like with any other rare collectible, the value of these coins is determined by a combination of factors. One of the most important is the coin's authenticity. The U.S. Mint keeps track of all the coins it produces, but for those rare mistakes, like the 1999 penny, experts and professionals in the numismatic community can verify its legitimacy. This process involves a careful examination of the coin's composition, design, and other distinguishing features. Once a coin is authenticated, it can be sold at auction, and collectors can bid for the chance to own a piece of history. At one point, one of these rare 1999 pennies was sold at auction for an incredible $37 million. To put that into perspective, that's more than most people could ever dream of making in a lifetime. It's hard to believe that a coin worth only 1 cent could eventually be worth millions, but that's exactly what happened with this particular penny. And it wasn't just one coin that was valued so highly. Other similar coins have also fetched impressive sums of money at auctions over the years. So, how does a coin go from being worth just a penny to being worth millions? The answer lies in the world of rare collectibles and the demand for unique items. For collectors, the value of a coin isn't just about its face value. It's about the history, the rarity, and the story behind it. When a coin is rare, has a unique backstory, and is in demand, its value can skyrocket. That's exactly what happened with the 1999 1-cent coin. The mistake made during its production, combined with the rarity of the coin, created a perfect storm that resulted in a record-breaking price tag. The story of the 1999 penny is a reminder that not everything is as it seems at first glance. What may seem like a simple, everyday item could actually be worth far more than we realize. In the case of this penny, a small mistake turned it into a highly valuable artifact, and that's a story worth telling. It also serves as a reminder to never overlook the things that seem ordinary. Whether it's a coin, a piece of art, or any other collectible, there's always the possibility that what we hold in our hands today could become a priceless treasure tomorrow. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Is there a chance that I could find one of these rare coins? While the odds are certainly slim, it's not entirely out of the realm of possibility. Collectors often scour through rolls of pennies, checking each one for errors or anomalies that might make them valuable. If you happen to come across a 1999 penny, it's worth taking a closer look to see if it could be one of the rare, valuable ones. Even if it's not, it's still a great reminder of how much potential there is in the world of collectibles and how small details can make a world of difference. For those of you who are interested in diving deeper into the world of coin collecting, it's important to learn about the different types of coins that are out there and what makes them valuable. Some coins are valuable because of their age, others because of their rarity, and some because they were involved in significant historical events. No matter what kind of coin you're interested in, there's always something new to discover, and who knows? You might just stumble upon your very own treasure. So, there you have it. The incredible story of the 1999 1-cent coin that's worth $37 million. It's a tale of how a simple mistake can lead to something extraordinary. Who would have thought that a penny, something so small and seemingly insignificant, could have such a huge impact on the world of coin collecting? But as we've seen, in the world of rare collectibles, anything is possible. If you found this story fascinating and want to learn more about the world of rare coins, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more stories of incredible treasures and unbelievable finds. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Next. Today, we have an incredible story for you, one that's steeped in history, money, and a surprising twist of fate. Have you ever wondered about the value of a simple coin? It's hard to imagine, isn't it? But what if I told you that a single, humble 1-cent coin from 1988 has an astounding value of over $100 million? Sounds too good to be true, right? Stick around, because we're about to dive into a fascinating tale of one coin's journey from obscurity to becoming a multi-million-dollar marvel. It's easy to overlook the small stuff in life. We rush through our days, paying little attention to things like spare change. A penny here, a nickel there, they accumulate, but they rarely make a significant impact on our wallets. But what if that small, seemingly insignificant coin was more than just a piece of currency? What if it was a gateway to history and unimaginable wealth? This is where our story begins, with a 1-cent coin from 1988. At first glance, it might look like just another ordinary coin, but as we peel back the layers of this story, you'll see that it's far from ordinary. It's a coin with a history of error, mystery, and intrigue, a coin that has defied the odds and become one of the most sought-after pieces of currency in modern times. The journey of this particular 1-cent coin began when it was first minted in 1988. For most people, 1988 was just another year in the grand scheme of history, a year marked by politics, pop culture, and global events. But for those with an eye for rare coins, 1988 had something else in store, a mistake that would change the future of numismatics. It all started with a mistake at the U.S. Mint. During the production of coins, the U.S. Mint relies on highly precise machinery to ensure that each coin is struck correctly. However, as with any massive operation, mistakes can occasionally happen. In 1988, an error occurred during the production of the 1-cent coins. A number of the coins produced that year were struck with a minting flaw, a flaw that would ultimately make them highly valuable. The error involved a misalignment in the minting press, causing some of the coins to be struck with a double image. Normally, this wouldn't be a huge deal, but in this case, the error was so unique and so rare that it caught the attention of collectors almost immediately. Only a handful of these coins were ever produced, making them an extremely rare find. As the years passed, these coins circulated among the public, largely unnoticed. Most people never realized that their 1-cent coins were worth anything more than their face value. After all, who would ever think that a simple penny could be worth millions? And yet, the coins with the minting error slowly started to gain attention from collectors, who began to recognize their rarity and value. The coin's value continued to rise, and by the early 2000s, it was becoming clear that this was no ordinary penny. Coin experts, collectors, and investors began to take notice, and word spread like wildfire. What had started as a small mistake in a busy minting facility was now a piece of history, worth far more than anyone could have anticipated. But how did it go from being a curiosity among collectors to being worth over $100 million? That's where things get even more interesting. The rise in value of this 1988 1-cent coin didn't happen overnight. It was a combination of factors that led to its astronomical worth. First, there was the rarity of the coin itself. Only a small number of these error coins had ever been produced, and even fewer had survived the years in good condition. Coin collectors are always on the lookout for rare, high-quality specimens, and this coin fit the bill perfectly. As more collectors became aware of its existence, the demand for the coin grew exponentially. Second, the coin's story played a significant role in its value. People love a good story, especially when it comes to rare and valuable items. The tale of the 1988 1-cent coin's creation, the minting error, the rarity, the historical context, all of these elements contributed to the coin's mystique and appeal. It wasn't just a coin, it was a piece of history, a symbol of how a simple mistake can lead to something extraordinary. Third, as the years went by, the world of rare coin collecting began to see a surge in popularity. With the rise of the internet, it became easier for collectors to connect with one another, share information, and trade coins. Online marketplaces and auction sites allowed coins to reach a global audience, and the 1988 1-cent coin quickly became a sought-after item. But the real turning point came when the coin was sold at auction. In a highly publicized sale, the coin fetched an eye-watering price of over $100 million. The buyer, a wealthy collector with a passion for rare coins, had recognized the coin's potential long before the auction. In fact, many experts had predicted that this particular coin would fetch a record-breaking price, but no one could have predicted just how high that price would be. The auction was a defining moment for the world of numismatics, a moment that proved that even the smallest and most overlooked items could hold tremendous value. The 1988 1-cent coin became a symbol of how the unexpected can lead to extraordinary wealth, and it inspired a new generation of collectors to seek out rare and valuable coins. But how did the coin end up in the hands of such a collector in the first place? How did it survive all these years, from the minting press to the auction block? That's a story in itself, one that involves a combination of luck, timing, and the dedication of coin hunters who are always on the lookout for hidden treasures. Over the years, the coin passed through various hands. It was likely discovered by a coin collector who recognized its potential, and from there, it moved through private collections, its value increasing with each passing year. As more people became aware of its rarity and importance, its price continued to climb. And now, here we are, at the point where a simple 1-cent coin from 1988 has become one of the most valuable pieces of currency in history. It's hard to imagine that something so small and seemingly insignificant could be worth so much, but as this story shows, sometimes the most valuable things are the ones we least expect. What makes this coin's story so compelling isn't just its value, though. It's the reminder that there is more to the world than meets the eye. Whether it's a coin, a piece of art, or an antique, the value of something is often determined by more than just its surface appearance. It's the story behind the item, the history it carries, and the way it fits into the larger tapestry of our world. In the end, the 1988 1-cent coin is more than just a rare artifact. It's a symbol of the unexpected. It shows us that sometimes, the most valuable things in life come from the most unexpected places. And while it's easy to overlook the small stuff, the coins, the moments, the opportunities, this story serves as a reminder that sometimes the smallest things can have the biggest impact. So, the next time you find yourself holding a 1-cent coin, remember this story. Who knows? You might be holding a piece of history in your hand, just waiting for its moment to shine. Whether it's a rare minting error or a long-lost treasure, there's always the possibility that something small and seemingly insignificant could one day become worth millions. And that, my friends, is the true magic of history. Thanks for joining us today. If you enjoyed this fascinating story, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more amazing tales of rare treasures, history, and unexpected riches. Stay tuned for more incredible content, and remember, sometimes the smallest things can lead to the biggest discoveries. Until next time, take care and keep searching for your own hidden gems. Today, we're diving into an astonishing tale that revolves around an unexpected and mind-boggling treasure, a 2004 1-cent coin worth a whopping $18 million. This is no ordinary story of a coin buried in the ground or a rare collectible that takes decades to surface. The journey of this coin is an extraordinary chapter in the world of numismatics, and it all began with the simple minting of a coin that most people would have overlooked at the time. In 2004, the U.S. Mint produced billions of 1-cent coins as part of its ongoing currency circulation efforts. These coins, also known as pennies, were made in vast quantities and were intended for everyday transactions. But what made one particular penny, produced in that year, so incredibly valuable? The answer is rooted in the complexities of minting processes, collector interest, and rare imperfections that can turn an otherwise insignificant coin into an incredibly sought-after piece of history. The 2004 penny in question had a defect, an error in its design that resulted in its unique and distinct characteristics. While many coins are produced with slight errors, this particular penny stood out due to its remarkable rarity and the significant impact that rarity had on its value. It was not the kind of imperfection most would notice at first glance. To the untrained eye, it seemed just like any other penny. But to experts, it was a one-in-a-million find. The penny was originally part of a large batch of 2004 pennies, which were being processed and circulated like the thousands of others being produced each day. Most of these pennies were destined for everyday use, and like countless others, they would be handled, spent, and eventually lost or forgotten. But for this one coin, fate had something different in store. It wasn't long before collectors and numismatic enthusiasts began to take notice of certain unusual features in the coin that set it apart from all the others. The coin was discovered by a sharp-eyed individual, someone with a passion for collecting rare items and an even keener eye for detail. This person noticed the subtle differences in the penny's appearance. It wasn't just a regular 2004 penny, it had an engraving flaw, a slight misalignment in the minting process, which made it worth far more than anyone could have ever expected. The error wasn't just a small mistake, it was a design flaw that could change the entire course of its history. The coin made its way into the hands of numismatic experts who recognized its value immediately. They understood the significance of the error and began to assess the rarity of the coin. To them, it wasn't just a simple penny, it was a one-of-a-kind item that could possibly fetch millions on the open market. Word spread quickly through the numismatic community, and soon the penny's value began to skyrocket. No one could have predicted that a single penny, worth just 1 cent at face value, could be worth a fortune. The excitement surrounding the coin grew, and soon after, it was put up for auction. The bidding was fierce, with collectors and investors from around the world vying for a chance to own this rare piece of history. As the auction progressed, the price soared higher and higher, with no one quite sure where it would end. But one thing was clear: this coin had become a symbol of the incredible unpredictability of the numismatic world. In the end, the coin was sold for an astonishing $18 million, a sum that shocked the entire industry. It was a reminder of how rare, unique, and valuable a coin could become due to a single imperfection or flaw in its design. The sale of this penny set a new record for the most expensive penny ever sold, and it captured the imagination of millions of people around the world. But why was this coin so valuable? What made it stand out from all the other pennies that were produced in 2004? To understand its true worth, we need to take a closer look at the minting process and what can go wrong during the production of coins. The U.S. Mint is a highly sophisticated operation, and its coins are produced with a level of precision that is unmatched anywhere in the world. However, even in such a controlled environment, mistakes can happen. And when those mistakes do happen, they can sometimes result in the creation of a rare and highly coveted coin. In the case of this 2004 penny, the error occurred during the minting process, when the die used to strike the coin was misaligned. This caused a portion of the design to be slightly shifted, resulting in a unique pattern on the coin that made it stand out from all the others. While such errors are not unheard of, they are incredibly rare, especially when it comes to something as common as a penny. Most of the time, these types of errors go unnoticed, as they are often so small that they don't catch the attention of anyone handling the coins. But in this case, the error was significant enough to make the penny instantly recognizable as something special. And once collectors and experts got wind of it, the bidding war began. It's important to note that not all coins with minting errors are valuable. In fact, most of them are worth only a fraction more than their face value. However, when a coin has a particularly rare or unique flaw, it can become a highly desirable item for collectors. In this case, the error on the 2004 penny was so significant that it turned a common piece of currency into an incredibly valuable artifact. The sale of the penny for $18 million marked a new chapter in the world of numismatics, proving that even the most ordinary objects can have extraordinary value. It also highlighted the unpredictable nature of the market for rare coins, where a single mistake in the minting process can lead to a life-changing windfall for someone lucky enough to discover it. For many people, this story serves as a reminder of the hidden treasures that can be found in the most unlikely places. While most of us may overlook a penny on the ground, there are those who have built entire fortunes by recognizing the potential value in such seemingly insignificant objects. It's a testament to the power of knowledge, observation, and the ability to see something for what it could be rather than what it appears to be at first glance. This story also underscores the importance of the numismatic community, where experts and collectors work together to uncover and preserve pieces of history. Without the keen eye of a passionate collector or the expertise of numismatic professionals, this 2004 penny might have simply gone unnoticed, forever lost in the vast sea of coins produced each year. But thanks to the dedication of those in the field, this penny was able to shine as a symbol of rarity and value. The 2004 penny's story is one of the many examples of how the world of coin collecting can surprise us. While some might dismiss it as an outdated hobby, there are millions of collectors around the world who know the true value of coins, whether they are common or rare. The value of a coin is often determined by factors that go beyond its face value, such as its historical significance, its rarity, and the story behind it. In the case of the 2004 penny, the story was one of discovery, excitement, and an incredible financial reward. As we wrap up today's tale of the $18 million penny, it's worth reflecting on just how much the world of numismatics has to offer. From simple mistakes to complex historical connections, the world of coins is a fascinating one, full of surprises and hidden treasures. And for those who are willing to take the time to learn about the intricacies of coin collecting, there's always the potential to stumble upon a piece of history that could change your life forever. Before we close, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an amazing story like this one. Who knows? The next big discovery could be just around the corner. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.